Nice to see you all back. Hello, Kati. Your mic is on mute, so we can't hear you, but I hope that will not be a problem later on. So welcome back all of the participants of Agile Tour Vilnius 2020. It's a pleasure to see you here in the workshop / speech. I even don't know how to call that very well. Where I hope that all of us will have an amazing opportunity to learn another language, I would call it like that, the language of sketching, where we can send our message using visual elements and not just using our speech or other tools. And I think it's super valuable because one of the first lessons that I learned how the audience should receive your message using two communication channels. So usually you are combining your visual and your speech. And this is an opportunity where we will see how we can combine other way of delivering our messages is by sketching. So Kate, the stage is yours. You are still on mute. Let me unmute you.
Unmute.
Okay.
Okay, now you can hear me.
Yep.
Hello. So do you hear me well?
Yeah, everything is fine. I hope that everyone prepared a piece of paper and a pen, because I think it will be super useful during this time that we'll spend with you.
Yes, exactly. And as I'm staying a little bit far from computer, that you can see the board here. So that's why I asked if you can hear me well. But yes, if you don't have a paper or pen yet, then go and grab it, because this is all hands-on, and I will talk, but also we will draw a lot. And first, I want to thank you to be here. I saw there was like over 40 people interested of it. And as this workshop is so limited time, okay, now it's okay, yeah?
Yeah, we have some technical issues, but I hope that will not spoil this time of yours.
But it's very okay, because what it's saying, maybe sometimes people asking why you are bringing us back to the cave times with pen and paper, why we don't draw with iPads and all these things. But actually what I've heard during this COVID period, that people, even if they have so many workshops and online working now, they prefer to use pen and paper, even in workshops like online versions, that you can rely on pen and paper much more than anything else. So let's start, because this workshop was called Sketchnoting. I have here written bigger the word graphic facilitation. And let me say that it's because that if we talk about sketchnoting, then we talk about maybe more like a personal tool, the way that we are alone, thinking our thoughts and working with some ideas, or listening something and then sketchnoting it. But if we call it graphic facilitation, then we more use it in a larger group. So that's why there can be a little bit difference about these words. And as I work with this method over 7 years now, I'm like, this is my mission to teach everybody to draw, and just to show that actually this method is not so much about drawing. And my interest in this topic is going so deep that I even went to university to study more education and how to teach and what is teaching and learning about, to see how to apply this graphic facilitation and sketchnoting more into our education, because it all starts from there. Why I have to teach grown-ups to do this kind of fast drawing if it could be already our thinking tool and our third language from kindergarten, let's say. So I can say that I'm a scientist about this topic, but I'm also very practical because I do a lot of trainings and I sketch myself and I do the visuals and templates to my clients while I'm working at home. But today I try to keep this science part a little bit less because we don't have so much time and I want to draw as much as I can. Let's go first to show that what is this graphic facilitation and sketchnoting about. We can say it's about mindset first, because if you get this philosophy and this idea that, okay, I have to let go this feeling that it's about nice drawing or drawing at all maybe. And that's why getting the mindset, it also helps if you get these fast and easy tips how to draw, how to do this kind of pictures. And then we can say that if you know these fast and easy tips, then you can move to put them together into the bigger pictures. Like you can see here, this is like this road today that we will go with this mindset and easy and fast tips into the bigger visuals, and then little bit to see how we can use it. And I'm not putting any specific area in work or life here, because usually if I train it, I say that it's a general tool. It's our whole privilege of being a human being. It's our privilege to know how to use it. So if you already have this mindset, you know how to use it, this fast drawing, then you go and you use it in whatever area you need it in your life. Is it Agile working or Scrum mastering or design thinking or whatever, or in education, teaching, training, coaching. So that's why today it's more like this, let's say, practical generally. And of course, what we can say that today's this 40 minutes drawing is in this context for a tool for effective thinking and having these meaningful conversations around us. When I learned this tool, I learned it as the best participatory practice or tool how to involve people. And I was involved in this kind of, let's say, movement in the world called Art of Hosting, and Art of Hosting and harvesting conversations that matter. So if you are interested, you can later Google the Art of Hosting practice as well. And it was said to us that this tool is the best tool to involve people. And when I learned in that, started to put it in practice as a trainer, as a youth worker, as a mom, as a friend, I saw that it is the best tool to involve people. So, but let's say graphic facilitation, sketchnoting is about putting fast and easy drawing and make meaningful understanding about actually these words. So we can say that it's about seeing big picture, creating big pictures. This is what we so much need today. We talk so much about little pieces only, but we don't show people what it's all like, where it belongs, what this one piece is, what we talk about, why we do it or where we want to go. So creating these big pictures, and I can say that this is especially my big passion in graphic facilitation, to really make this understandable whole pictures about some tragedies. Sometimes I get 100 pages documents and they say, we want just one picture about it, simplified one, because nobody understands what the tragedy about. So you take these different shapes, some symbols maybe and keywords, and you start creating it. And what's most important, process over pretty. This is one thing you need to take as a mantra. Every morning you wake up, just say to yourself, process over pretty, because it doesn't matter how nice you draw, it matters what did you made with this drawing. So that's why you can see the stickman here, because actually we can start with stickman. But first, before we go to this drawing part, let's say about a little bit this mindset. I can't see you, so I can't see if you are closing your eyes, but please close your eyes for a second and try to imagine your next vacation. If we can, you know, go around again after this COVID. So maybe I can question that you probably, if you saw about the warm country to fly there, then you probably saw something like this in your mind. You didn't saw the words where was written that, oh, there is a sun and there is the palm tree and so on. So you saw a picture. So what the next thing I want you to think about, if you talk about some data, you don't talk about data having this, okay, maybe you talk about it having these words and then you put these procents behind it. But most of all, actually, we use this kind of charts to talk about data. They can be different ones. So it means that we are more easily seeing things in pictures and schemes, again, not words. We can't see this process here so well as maybe here. And the third one, if you go to travel somewhere and you put this starting point, and then you have this finish point, and then Google Maps draws you how to go there. And then you can choose, there is also written the journey, but then you can push the button and show the journey. And next time you go to the journey, see which one you choose. Do you choose again this where is written, how to drive and when to turn left and right, or you start with this journey? So it also means that we are more easy seeing these roads. So I think that these three examples prove from itself that why drawing is needed, because our brain is thinking in pictures, our brain is made with schemes, and that's why how mind map was born, because mind map is exactly how the connections are in our brain, and that's why we need this drawing. And there's a lot of myths about why we don't draw. First, you can relate which one you think that why you don't draw. Do you think it's for children? Do you think that it's taking too much time? Do you think that, oh, I'm talking so well that I don't need any presentation or drawing. I'm so good speaker. Or you think that you are not creative and you can't draw. These are the four, let's say, basic myths about why we don't use this drawing. And let's start from this, the last one, that you are not creative and you can't draw. Let's start this drawing now, because maybe you think that it's already so much time and we haven't started yet. I hope you all can, because I can't see you, to wave me or something, that I hope you're with me and have the pen and paper, and let's start drawing. So if you saw this picture where was the stickman, and a lot of times we use, or most of the times we use people when we draw. And we can draw a stickman just using the circle and some sticks. But some people say, I don't want to use stickman, it's too childish. If I already draw and I know it doesn't have to be nice but I want to draw a little bit more like a grown-up. And then what I teach people to draw, I can call a pattern man. And actually pattern man is coming from O and upside down U. So it's easy to remember. And it's very good and fast to draw this pattern person. No hands, no legs, because a lot of times when we talk about the ideas, strategies, working together, then it's not important how many fingers we have, how long our eye flashes. It means that it's important what we are talking about. So we can make people to talk using the talking bubbles and thinking bubbles. And you can see here that now if I use this pattern person and the talking bubble, I don't even need to draw these eyes or mouth because it's not important. So try to remember this. Everything that is not important, just take away. If you use this drawing all the time in the drawing or in the visual, everything that is drawn needs to have a meaning there. So maybe you want to show that this person was a very good listener. So you draw this ear, and using this simple button man, the ear comes out now more. We can get the attention of this. We want to bring it out. So, but of course, nobody says that you can't draw a little bit more. So you can add legs, you can have hands. Well, I do a little mobile phone here that the person is calling somewhere. So maybe I want to show that he's standing somewhere. So I can use this kind of platforms. No, these platforms can be this way. So why we have the platforms or why we have these speech bubbles or thinking bubbles is because they are containers for our words. If we do the visual, then the containers help us to structure the words and ideas. Like from here, we can go there using arrows to show this person here is talking. So you can do very different kind of speech bubbles. So today you have this glimpse of this fast drawing, and after that, just go to YouTube or just Google fast and easy drawing or how to draw a speech bubble, and you will find everything there. So there can be a very different type of speech bubbles like this or thinking bubble. And what is the difference? Maybe you know from comics that if we talk, then we show this talking like this. But when we think, then it's like a cloud. Why I say it, it's because if I teach people this fast drawing, they're all grown-ups. And if I ask, please raise your hand, who has been drawing a speech bubble? And maybe few just do it. And I thought that everybody is drawing speech bubbles because this is the way to show that we are talking about something. So we can use this pattern man to draw more people. So I just draw these hands and then, no, not hands, heads, sorry. And then I just do this upside down U's like this and having their bodies here. Like this. And here also we can have some, maybe they want something. So I can add here little lines to bring it out that they are smart-headed and maybe got the first prize somewhere because of that. And of course, today we don't have so much time to do it here, but you can always add colors like this. And I'm not so much friend with colors. My background is not artistic at all. I was multi-talented at school as a student. I did everything very well except drawing. So art lesson was one of my nightmares, to not get bad marks. But when I learned how to draw, I understood that maybe it's also because I'm not so friendly with colors. I don't know how to mix them so well. But luckily, in business world or this kind of like words world, if we start drawing, it's not so important to do very colorful pictures, even if actually color have meaning. And if you love colors, use them. If you know how to mix them together, it's totally fine. And I have seen fantastic, colorful visuals that's not losing their meaning, or you feel like there's too much. But always keep in mind that we draw because of these words here, not because of colors or everything else, because we want to make meaning. What is going with what? So always ask, is there too much rubbish around it? And is it losing a meaning? So that's why not too much details, and doesn't have to be too colorful. And of course, if you use this technique while you are talking, which is not the first purpose of this, you don't need to start being this like a talking, let's say, talking pen that you talk and you draw. This can come when you already feel, let's say, comfortable with this technique. But if you, to feel comfortable, you first need to practice your own or your team, like working in offline. This one is online, and online always comes faster, maybe hardest. And why it comes hardest is because we don't have this third language in our memory yet. If you have to write something, or we have to calculate something, it comes so fast because we are started to learn it when we went to school. But if you want to say that there is somebody talking about something in some kind of situation, having something in mind, then you can draw it as fast as I did if it's all in your, let's say you have it already here. You can use it as fast as these languages, but it comes with practice. And as you saw, why it's powerful to use it, because I can draw while I'm talking, but if I'm talking and want to write, then I always have to shut up a little bit because I can't do two verbal things together. And also it simplifies it, because why I have to write out there was somebody talking something, staying somewhere, thinking about something. If these things I can put in the picture and then point out the most meaningful things. So this is actually, I think, the most powerful part. Just think what kind of words you can substitute with pictures. Okay, let's move on a little bit, drawing more. So we did also, like, there's more people like this. And then you can use this kind of different signs or road signs, like showing that we are somewhere. You just do the square using two sticks. And then I have this, how I say, it's like an imitation of grass, like it's on the grass. And this kind of elements are really good to make these 3D dimensions, like I could see behind it now. So there's some information. Maybe I can show that, okay, some people went to the road having this information, and now they want to reach to some finished goal. And so I already use a little bit metaphor, like from here, we can move here. We have this information, we are here, so you can always make them talk something. And here as well, you see how fast and easy it's to draw. So they can be different kind of signs like this. Maybe like a bus station. And these are the elements of containers again. So we have this kind of like different ways we can use people, speech bubbles, Then we can use different signs to show where we are, where we want to go. And also we can use just this kind of frames. Let's say I want to write here something, but I don't want to keep it just in a simple square. I want to make the feeling around it. So the easiest way to make a feeling is to use some little elements that is showing this is some frame, and it makes the information connect with emotions. It said that information without emotion is zero. And a lot of times, this is also why people think this graphic facilitation or drawing that it's hard, because directly we tie it with symbols and metaphors. And you see, at the moment, I didn't teach you any symbols and metaphors. But why I didn't is because if you're not familiar with drawing yet, you need to start with simplest part. And drawing these frames, it said that if your line is getting straight, more straight, you feel comfortable drawing lines, the better you get in drawing. So if you first start with these frames and elements, then it's easier to move into symbols, to start thinking how I could show this one or that one. And Google is full of simple symbols. Just see it, copy it, make it your own, copy once, twice, three times, and then maybe next time you talk with people about some idea, and the idea bulb is just coming there, like this. And everybody thinks, oh, you can draw. Actually, you just saw it somewhere and you copied. It's all about copying as well. And it's not plagiarism, or how you say it, because if teacher is teaching you these letters or numbers, he's not saying that, oh, you did exactly the same number as I did. Make your own number. Why are you copying me? So it's actually, we learn from copying. And if we don't have this language, we need to learn this from copying too, doing it as adults. So this kind of simple elements, well, we can do some kind of symbols, maybe if you are interested. For example, if you have some people in focus, or you have some project, it's focus, you can use the loop. If you have some documents you need to use in your project or road, then you can use this like a letter, or you can use it as a book, doing it very fast like this. Then you can have people like this button people doing sitting around the table. And as you saw, I draw these heads in the circle, and if the heads are drawn, then I can see whose bodies are here and whose bodies are more here. So I just do this. So people love this picture because a lot of times we need to talk about teamwork or working with ideas, and we don't want to draw it like this because it doesn't look maybe like a teamwork. It's more like somebody is like leading in a distance. So if you start to search for these symbols and use them, always test them maybe first, or ask people how you feel about this symbol, how it looks to you. So you can use a key. We already did this idea bulb, and so on. So start first using this kind of frames and simple elements, and then make your own, let's say, like alphabet about symbols. Like write down 10 words you always use and would like to substitute with symbols or metaphors, and then start searching and find the easiest ways. And always, if you look the symbol, look behind it, take all the little elements out and just see the big structure. What makes this element, this symbol, to be this symbol? Because a lot of times we see very artistic ones. But of course, Google is already full, again, all these simple elements. But let's move forward, because the main thing, as I said, I'm very a fan of big pictures and how to put the big picture together. So it actually means that if we have, let's say, I love roadmaps. So let's say we are here having some idea. So I can put here this idea pulp. And now here, I do this eyesight. I love these maps or templates where we use the real world, where we have this eyesight and like real roadmaps. And why I love them is because we are moving and working in these landscapes every day. We go outside and signs show us where to go. Signs show us where we are at the moment. So it resonates very well to people that we put us to these landscapes. That's why I love them. But of course, you can use any kind of metaphor pictures, being in space or whatever. But these ones are the easiest ones to start. So let's say we are in a starting point. And we have some kind of goal here where we want to go. And then we already have where we are at the moment, what is the idea. We can identify what are the problems, why we are here, what is the goal. And then we can start planning how to go there. So I use this arrow to show. And what is the meaning of doing it from left here to the right is because we read this way. All our books are this way, and we are already used to move our eye like this. And why it's going up there is because it's a landscape, and it gives a very good feeling like we are really reaching this goal, you know, like up to the stars. So that's why it's good. But always, of course, you can use this way as well. So here are these people with some thought, and then we have some reason to go. And this one is good if you need to use some kind of table. You know, maybe there is some time we have to calculate. Maybe there is some skills we need to learn or whatever. So already using some symbols here as well. And why, as I said, I'm really a huge fan of these meaningful pictures and templates. And maybe if you read carefully this introduction of the workshop, then you found that there was Kati talking about some chaos and order as well. So again, this is very fast glimpse into it, but if you get interested, then you can Google about Dee Hock. Also, I have this kind of book here, like Birth of Chaordic Age. This one is very good. And Dee Hock was the founder of how you say, Visa card, the first electronic card which brought together people's money electronically. And when he was like leading this process of putting a Visa card at work in the world, he saw that it made a lot of chaos, and they needed to make an order from this chaos. And then he kind of saw the pattern, and let's say kind of was a founder of this leading approach, chaotic leading, walking the chaotic path. So Dee Hock here. And the idea about the chaotic path came from this, that what is the one thing we want in the world? It is the order, that everything is okay. It's a good word, order. But we can get order from chaos or from control. So let's write here control. And let's write here chaos. So both ways are right ways actually to get the order, because there are there are moments in life where we can't get order out from chaos. Like, let's say, like in flights and flying world, that if you say the pilot that, oh, you see there's no planes outside, and just start and just go. We need control in the system to make it work, that we don't hit each other when we are flying. But the other way is, let's say, this getting order from control is a little bit like status quo. It's the best practice that we mostly have. If something is not right, we make a law to make it right. If somebody is stepping over the law, we make a new law, and so on. But if we want something new to become, the innovation, and we want people to take the responsibility of their actions, then we can't get order out from control. We can get it only out from chaos, which means that every good leader notice this chaos, sometimes maybe even is making a little bit chaos to see where people are, how they really are doing things that are coming from passion, or they are just doing things because they are told to do, and if they don't do it, they get punished, and so on. And I've been working with some startups, and I can very strongly see that startups are very much working here, getting this order out of chaos. And this area between this getting order out of chaos is called Chaordic. And how to get out from chaos to be in order is called Chaordic path. And why I'm talking, it's because coming out from, it's not just that if you have this order, you want to come out with chaos and let's see how we do it. There are certain steps you need to follow. And I'm talking it because if I'm drawing these big pictures, the meaningful pictures, I always take this Chaordic path principles behind what is needful to be on the picture. There always need to be this need, why we are doing something, the purpose, what is the main reason we are doing it, where we want to reach, what is our biggest goal, what are the small goals. Then are the principles, how we work together, what are the values we carry, or principles, or let's say good practices, what we agree. Then who are the people behind it? Do we need some more people, or is there somebody who's not doing their work anymore, and so on. So then we ask about the concept. What is the concept behind now to reach with this need to this purpose? Then we work with limiting beliefs. Sometimes this is not always in it, but actually if you start with some processes, there should be always these limiting beliefs to work with. Then we have the structure. Who is doing what? And the structure is also like the timelines and all this, like the real work we are doing. And then comes the practice out of it. And sometimes Dee Hock says that actually we only need first these three things. Oh no, these four things. And if these ones are clear, then we can move here. We could never start here before we haven't talked about these ones. And that's why in this bigger picture, I come here back now. Let me see. That's why also in this big picture, everything that goes before we can start moving is here on the left, because this is first thing. What we do, why we do it, where we want to go. Or maybe it's better even if I show this one. Here are these questions. I take this one away. So here are these questions. What and why we are doing? What is our principles? Who is doing it? And then we ask where we are now, what is the goal? So let's say this purpose is also coming with this goal, but sometimes when we start making these concepts or structure, then also comes out maybe that we need some other little goals here. And then if we have this space here or this space here, then this space, it's all everything that comes along the way while we are doing this process. And let's say that if you work with your clients, then it's very good to know that you can already make a template. Or if you have this blank sheet, and so many, and you want to start from scratch, then always keep in mind, you can, let's say, even share this paper in your mind a little bit like in 9 dimensions. And then if you start scratching here and talk with your client or start the idea, then you can start that, okay, what is this one thing we need? Why we do this? Why we do this process, or why you need us to be in this process? So what is the meaning behind it, the purpose? Why this process? What's the outcome? So you can always, maybe you have so clear outcome that you can already put here this outcome. So there's the eyesight, yeah. So you can put the outcome already here. And then you talk about people. Who are the people there? Or maybe we need some more people. Of course, you talk about people already also when you talk about structure and concept, but maybe these ones who are involved, who are in the room at the moment. And then what are we talking about? Or and maybe you put here the principles, how we work together. And then when these basic things are written down, agreed, then you can start talking, okay, now how we can move here, what is these main things we need to do? And as you can see, I'm using so simple drawing here, not thinking that, I hope that with this one myth that I'm not creative and I can't draw. I can't see you that if you really draw, you can see it later and pause anytime and draw it slower, search to draw more. But I hope I kind of proved you that you can draw as a thinking tool, as explaining tool. So it's not for children. So it's not that if you think you're explaining so well, then actually we all want to see these big pictures. It can be that you're explaining so well, just talking about some facts. But if you want to have your people along, if you want to show the big picture, you can never talk it only out with words. And what was the third one? That you don't have time for that. Yes, this is the tricky one. And I agree that it takes time, at least first, if you're not so familiar with this. Let's say you start doing some templates for your client, or you want to do some strategy, draw out. Well, this kind of simple pictures first took me 5 hours maybe to make some drawings out of some 3 pages strategies. But it comes with practice. And what I'm lately saying to people, the habits are the strong words. People always want to, let's say, learn new and good habits. Take this one as a habit. Start this, like, first, every time you write something down, your own or your colleagues, and there is some words. Make a habit always to make a speech bubble around it. Every time, whenever, alone or with team. Okay, if you want to go further, you can draw people here because it gives like life in your picture. But you don't need to start big. Just start small and see how it works if you do the things. And of course, it's easier if you start doing offline work first, as I said. So, and every time you do it, just look at it and say, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so talented. I'm so creative. I can draw. Yeah. Okay. We have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Kati, was really a great presentation. I have to admit that I still need to practice quite a lot. As you mentioned, probably practice makes perfect. We have a couple of questions in the audience, and the first one was there any difficult situations that you had to visualize? I have to admit that when I read this question, I immediately thought, okay, so how you would visualize staff reduction?
Let's say that sometimes when I do the trainings, people want to challenge me and they're telling me some word, how you would draw it. And then I just write the word and then I do just some kind of thing. And then I say, okay, I visualize the word. But if you really want me to visualize it, I need to know what it's like, the concept around it and why you use it. And so it's actually, there's no situations you can't draw, but you have to just dig into it more. And if you can't dig, it means you don't understand it. So it's actually quite hard work, but start like this, and then you start playing with ideas and these symbols. It's like making a logo. If you make a logo, you always search a lot of words around what you are doing and what is the meaning and purpose. It's the same. If you want to draw some situation or some word, start thinking about a larger meaning around it. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, and one more question that we have from the audience: do you use these pictures, situation schemes later on? If yes, then where? Project documentation or so?
I didn't quite get what I use.
So these drawings that you are doing, these sketches, do you use them afterwards? I know, adding them to some sort of initiative documentation or somewhere else. Do you reuse them, or they are just one time? You are just making the presentation and that's it. The pictures are gone.
Of course, if I do a training, then they are here and then they are gone. But if you mean using offline also, it is like you can make your own, let's say, a bunch of symbols that you always use. Maybe you draw them out, you make a picture of them, you have them in your computer, and then you can just take them and use them, and then you can mix them. So I could say that if I draw some template to some client, there are always some new symbols I use, and then I learn how to draw them, but also they come into my let's say into my folders that I can use later as well, if they are not so specific that only for the client. But you can reuse them, and but of course, yes, if you use them like here on the paper, but maybe this helps as well. If I have, if I'm doing a bigger session, I have done a 6 months session to work out with one strategy in one area, and we started with a very big picture, and then we started, maybe the first meeting was here and the second meeting was here with a goal, and then I always took this paper with me and we always filled it with this kind of things like this, and it was 5-6 meters on the wall, and it always, and every time we came together we saw what we talked about last time. So this is also, you can reuse it, but think it first. If you want to do it, then how it's easier. And it's also, if you use this kind of these things, then you can work like more draft first, and then you go home, and maybe for a client, you took these words and then you make a meaning out from it, like a summary. And then next time you meet, you don't have these anymore, but already the summary of last time. Yeah. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, I think you did very well. So thanks a lot, Kati, for participating in Agile Tour Vilnius 2020. It was a big pleasure to have you here. I hope that in the future, we'll see you also participating in Vilnius on-site. For all the audience, thanks a lot for attending this lecture. Please do not forget to use Mantis to evaluate Kati's speech, and see you in the next session that we will have about the leadership. Thanks a lot and have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.